We all have bought a lottery ticket at least once, right? Because everyone wants easy money. Now just imagine, what if you win a huge lottery? Sounds amazing, but what if you have to share half of that money with your wife, who already wants to divorce you because you were broke? Would you still give her half? Honestly, I would say no, straight no. So let's see what happens in a story like this. The story starts with a man named Santi, who is very poor. He is sleeping inside his van, which is his only place to stay. Suddenly, a police officer named Bagana wakes him up and tells him not to park near the port. Santi quietly leaves from there. Then he goes to his job, but he reaches late. His boss, Romulo, gets angry and gives him his final salary and fires him. But before sending him away, he makes Santi clean all the bathrooms. Santi has no choice, so he does all the work and then leaves. Things don't get better. On his way, his van runs out of petrol, so he has to walk to a nearby petrol pump. As if his bad luck is not enough, a car passing by splashes dirty water all over him. At the petrol pump, he meets his friend Pedro, who works there. Pedro tells him about their class reunion party, where all their old classmates will meet after many years. After talking for a while, Santi leaves because he has to go to a legal meeting with his wife, Maite. She wants a divorce. At the meeting, the lawyer explains that according to the law, everything they own will be divided equally between them. But the truth is, they don't have much. Only Maite's house and Santi's van. The lawyer also says that the divorce process will take about 2 to 3 months. This makes Maite upset because it means they will have to stay together until then. After the meeting ends, Maite leaves and Santi is left alone again. While walking, a lottery ticket-selling lady calls Santi and tries to convince him to buy a ticket. At first, he is not interested, but then he agrees and buys one. It is the first lottery ticket of his life. He keeps it inside his cigarette packet and forgets about it. Then the story moves to the class reunion party at night. Santi also goes there and meets his old friends Pedro and Marcos. While talking, he suddenly sees his wife Maite with another man named Mario. Back in college, Mario was very fat, and Santi along with his friends used to make fun of him. But now Mario has completely changed. He is fit, smart, and very confident. Maite tells Santi that Mario is now the boss of the supermarket where she works. Seeing them together and noticing their closeness, Santi starts feeling jealous. He goes back to his friends. Even they get shocked after seeing how much Mario has changed. Then the scene shifts to Maite and her best friend Lorena. Maite tells her that Mario likes her, but she is still confused about divorcing Santi. She is so confused that she hasn't even told her parents about it. After the party, Santi goes back home. In frustration, he throws his cigarette packet into the dustbin, completely forgetting that his lottery ticket is inside it. Then he falls asleep on the sofa. The next morning, Maite cleans the house, throws all the garbage outside, and leaves for work. After some time, Santi wakes up, turns on the radio on his broken phone, and starts bathing. While bathing, he hears shocking news on the radio. A man has won $25 million in the lottery, but his identity is still unknown. Suddenly, Santi remembers the ticket he bought. He quickly leaves his bath halfway and runs outside to the garbage bin. He starts searching through all the trash. After some time, he finally finds the ticket. With shaking hands, he checks the numbers, and they match. Santi starts screaming with happiness. He has just won around $25 million. Excited, he calls Maite to tell her the good news. But she doesn't pick up the call, so he decides to go to her workplace and tell her in person. But when he reaches the supermarket parking lot, he sees Maite sitting in a car with Mario. From a distance, it looks like they are about to kiss. In reality, Maite is stopping him, but Santi doesn't understand that. Heartbroken, Santi leaves quietly without telling anyone. But while walking away, he looks at his lottery ticket again and starts laughing in joy. Despite everything, he is now rich. Finally, he heads to the bank with the lottery ticket in his hand. When Santi enters the bank with the lottery ticket in his hand, all the staff start looking at him and whispering. Everyone understands that something big is going on. This makes Santi nervous, and he slowly starts backing away. The bank manager, Damien, and some other people try to stop him, but Santi panics and runs out. In fear, he quickly starts his van and drives away from the bank. But while driving, he suddenly notices that Damien is already sitting inside his van. Damien calmly starts talking to him and begins giving him financial advice. On the way, Santi gets stopped again by the same police officer, Bagona. She scolds him for careless driving. But before things get serious, Damien interrupts and tells her that Santi has just won $25 million. Hearing this, Bagona's behavior changes instantly. She congratulates Santi and lets him go. After that, Damien takes Santi to a restaurant. There he explains different investment ideas and ways to manage money. He confidently tells Santi that he won't find a better expert than him. Santi, who doesn't know much about money, trusts him and agrees to make him his financial advisor. While talking, Damien also learns about Santi's personal life and his divorce. He explains that if Santi reveals the lottery before the divorce, he will have to give half of his money to his wife. So he strongly advises Santi to keep it a secret until everything is finalized. At first, Santi doesn't like this idea. He feels it is wrong to hide such a big truth from his wife. But then suddenly he sees Maite and Mario outside the restaurant together. To avoid being seen, Santi quickly wears a guard's cap and hides his identity. From a distance, he watches them, and once again he feels that they are getting close. This moment changes his thinking. After seeing all this, Santi decides that he will not tell anyone about the lottery for now. The next day, Santi goes to Mario's office. Earlier, Mario had promised Maite that he would help Santi get a job. But instead of helping, Mario tries to insult him during the interview. In the end, he gives Santi a low-level job in the supermarket, working in the loading and unloading section. After that, we see Santi enjoying his secret money. He goes to a mall and buys expensive clothes and many costly items. While shopping, he suddenly sees Marcos with his family. Not wanting to get caught, Santi quickly hides inside a jewelry shop. When Marcos and his family are about to enter the shop, Santi asks the worker for help. She makes an excuse and sends them away, saying there is a problem in the shop. After that, Santi buys expensive jewelry from there. On his way home, he behaves very casually. He even uses the jewelry box as a stand to keep his juice in the van. When he reaches home, he hides all his new items in the storeroom. Then he throws away all the cheap food in his fridge and replaces it by filling empty cans with high-quality food. After doing all this, he gets excited and starts dancing and celebrating alone. But suddenly, Maite comes home. Before she notices anything, Santi quickly hides his clothes and watches inside the sofa. In the end, Maite finds him sitting naked on the sofa, acting like nothing is wrong. Later that night, Santi goes to a high-class restaurant. There he notices a girl named Christina who keeps looking at him. He thinks she might be interested in him. After a few days, Santi goes to the beach with his friends Pedro and Marcos for surfing. After surfing, they start talking about the man who recently won $25 million in the lottery. Santi pretends like he knows nothing. His friends start speaking badly about that person, which Santi doesn't like. He stops them, which makes them suspicious. They jokingly ask if he is the one who won. Santi laughs and says that if he had really won, he wouldn't be working in the supermarket. Everyone believes his excuse. At the beach, they also meet Mario, who turns out to be very good at surfing. Seeing his skills, everyone feels jealous. While returning, their van is stopped again by police officer Bagona. Since she already knows about Santi's lottery, he quickly hides behind the back seat. Bagona checks Pedro's bag and finds a packet of nicotine, so she pulls everyone out of the van. But when she notices Santi, her behavior suddenly becomes polite. She tells them everything is fine and lets them go. Pedro and Marcos get confused seeing this. To avoid suspicion, Santi lies and tells them that Bagona is his cousin. After getting money, Santi's life starts changing completely. One day, he wakes up in a hotel room where he had spent the night. Because of this new lifestyle, he reaches late to his job. Mate sees him and asks where he was last night. By mistake, he says that he was in a hotel, but Matey doesn't believe him and jokes that he can sleep in his van every day if he wants. Just then, Mario comes there and makes fun of Santi's surfing skills. This really hurts Santi, especially because it happens in front of his wife. So with the help of Damien, Santi hires a famous Australian surfer to train him. After practicing for a few days, his surfing becomes much better. One day at the beach, Mario sees Santi surfing well and gets surprised, but he doesn't say anything. Later that evening, when Pedro and Marcos invite Santi for dinner, he refuses and chooses his new lifestyle instead. The next day, Santi does something big. He goes with Damian to meet his old boss Romulo and decides to buy his port. He pays a high price for it, but before buying, he makes Romulo clean all the bathrooms, just like Romulo had once made him do. After that, Santi starts showing off. One day he meets his friends wearing expensive suits. When they ask where he got them, he lies and says that he got a job where he tests suits by wearing them. To avoid more questions, he quickly changes the topic and asks about their lives. But his friends feel ignored because he hasn't been spending time with them, so they leave him alone. That night, after having dinner with Damian, Santi goes back home. But when he enters, he finds out that Maite's parents have come to visit, making things more complicated. At home, Maite lies to her parents and pretends that everything is fine between her and Santi. But Santi tells the truth. He clearly says that they are getting a divorce. This creates an awkward situation. After that, the scene shifts to a bar where Santi sees Christina again. This time, he goes to her directly. But Christina tells him the truth, that she is a business escort. She gives him her card and leaves. This makes Santi feel even more empty. While walking alone on the street, he sees his friends sitting in a bar where they used to spend time together. He looks at them from outside but doesn't go in. Now the movie shows his loneliness. Even after having so much money, Santi is not happy. In a luxurious hotel room, he plays with an expensive drone, but he looks bored. His eyes show that he feels empty from inside. Then he calls Damien and asks him to work on a new plan. After this, the scene shifts to Pedro working at the petrol pump. A woman comes in her car and compliments his looks. Then at the bar, Pedro tells Marcos that he has been offered a modeling job for a sunglasses company and they are paying him $1 million. At first, Marcos doesn't believe it, but later he accepts it. Santi also comes to the bar but sits away from them. Pedro calls him back and shares the news, and they all start celebrating. Then the scene shifts to Marcos's house. While he is taking care of his kids, his wife gives him good news. An aunt he barely knew has left him around $1 million in her will. After that, we see Santi and Damien playing golf. During their conversation, it is revealed that Santi secretly gave both Pedro and Marcos $1 million each. At that moment, Damien notices Mario and tells Santi that he came to the bank for a loan. He also reveals Mario's plan to show fake losses and buy the supermarket while firing all the employees. Hearing this, Santi quickly goes to the supermarket to warn Maite. But before he can explain everything, Mario interrupts and things become tense between them. Maite, already stressed, says she cannot handle all this. Without even listening to Santi properly, she tells him to pack his bags and leave the house. This makes Santi very sad. He then goes outside and finds his friends in Marcos's new car. They take him along and start driving fast. During the ride, Santi asks Marcos why he wasted money on a car instead of taking care of his family. Marcos replies that it is his money and he can do whatever he wants. Pedro also says that Santi is just jealous because he is the only poor one among them. This hurts Santi. He angrily tells Marcos to stop the car and says that the car was actually bought with his money, but no one believes him. Suddenly, Marcos loses control and the car goes off the edge and starts falling into the sea. In that moment, Santi finally reveals the truth, that he is the one who won the lottery. After this truth comes out, everything changes. That night, all of them go to a pub together and celebrate. After a long time, they all feel happy again. Then the story shifts to Maite's house. She gets a call from Mario in front of Santi and starts talking to him. Seeing this, Santi decides to tease her. He calls Christina and talks to her in a romantic and flirty way. This makes Maite jealous. Later, Maite tells her friend Lorena about this. Lorena says something important. Maite still loves Santi. After that, the scene moves to the supermarket. Mario gathers all the workers and announces that the supermarket is going to close. Everyone becomes sad because they are about to lose their jobs, including Maite. Later, Santi invites Maite for dinner. She replies sarcastically that he will make her pay for it. Santi calmly says that he is not as bad as she thinks. That night, Santi arranges a candlelight dinner at home. They spend some emotional and peaceful time together. Slowly, their old feelings start coming back. Then Santi finally tells her the truth about the lottery. At first, Maite doesn't believe him, but after seeing the expensive things hidden in the storeroom, she realizes it is true. Instead of feeling happy, she gets angry. She is hurt that Santi hid such a big truth from her. She asks him to leave the house. Then the story shifts to Marcos's house. His wife is also tired of his careless spending, and they argue. Marcos leaves the house to clear his mind. Next, we see a party arranged for Pedro's first sunglasses commercial. The ad is very funny and becomes popular online. But because of negative comments and trolling, Pedro feels sad. Because of all this, both Pedro and Marcos blame Santi for their problems. They get angry and leave the party. The next day, Santi meets Damien one last time. They make some final plans and say goodbye. Both of them become emotional while leaving. It really feels like Damien was the only person who truly cared about Santi. After that, the focus shifts to Maite and Lorena. Lorena tells her that even after divorce, she will still get half of Santi's money. Soon after, Maite receives a message from the bank. Around $12.5 million has been deposited in her account. She understands that Santi gave her half of the money. She also receives the signed divorce papers from him. Lorena tells her to sign them and move on, but Maite refuses. She accepts that she still loves Santi. Then she gets a call that the supermarket is reopening. When she reaches there, she finds out that an unknown person has bought it. She goes to meet Mario and overhears his phone conversation. From that, she learns his real plan. Angry, she tells him that Santi was right. He is a liar. Mario replies that she is also lying because she still loves Santi. Just then, Damien arrives and tells her that Mario has been removed from his position and she is now the new head of the supermarket. Maite understands that Santi did all this for her. She quickly asks where Santi is and rushes to find him. Outside, she meets police officer Bigona, who stops her for wrong parking and gives her a fine. Maite requests her to help her reach the airport because she needs to stop her husband. Hearing Santi's name, Bigona agrees and takes her there. At the airport, Maite runs around searching for Santi, After some time, she finally finds him. She goes near him, slaps him in anger, and then hugs him tightly. She stops him from leaving, and everything becomes normal again. In the end, the story moves 1 year ahead. Everyone is together at a party. Marcos and Lorena are ready for their third child. Pedro has become famous on social media and is now known as Cool Pedro. At last, we see Mario again. He has become fat like before, and his heavy walk makes tables and plates shake, ending the movie on a funny note.